Okay, so this event in Boulder 82, as John Cleland Holmes put it, we had come from all over the country, from all periods of Kerouac's life, and more of us were together than had ever been in one place at one time before. And it's never happened since. So this was the biggest gathering that ever happened of all these people, and I hitchhiked to it as a 21-year-old. And there was only about 3,000 people there, all total throughout the whole thing. Nobody's ever done a book about it, but there were 5 documentaries shot there. But there's no book. So that's how this thing came about. And it had, you know, Allen, Ferlinghetti, Corso, McClure, Al Aronowitz, Carl Solomon, Ray Bremser, Kesey, Babs, Abby Hoffman, Timothy Leary, Paul Krasner, all of Robert Frank, all of these people big and not so big.
Andy Clausen.
Andy Clausen. I was getting to him. So, all right, so we'll go right there then. What the hell? This is an honor for me because it's the first time I've read part of the book about one of my favorite people in the book sitting in the room and doing the piece about him. So I hope he likes it. Oh, and so how do you, good question, how do you guys say Jack, do you think it's Jack Micheline or Michelin?
Micheline.
I got both answers there.
You did?
And he actually, during different periods of his life, used different names. He's on tape saying, you know, Micheline, and then I was talking to a professor who booked him at a university who insisted it was Michelin. So I'm sticking with Micheline. So here we are, this is Boulder 82. Then there were all these next generation poets who I'd never heard of before, like Jack Micheline and Andy Clausen, who impressed the hell out of me. The going phrase for these guys seemed to be street poets, but whatever they were called, I called them the conscience of the conference. Shit-kicking poets. What punk was to classic rock. A new generation of loud, in-your-face, passionate practitioners using the same medium as their predecessors, but with the fresh verve and brio that the founding fathers originally had. These two, and a few others I never really got to know, were quite prevalent in every setting, from the classrooms to the readings to the bar hangs. Micheline was a big, tall guy with a striking head of spiky white hair and a booming baritone. He was a brash New Yorker, filled with spirits, both distilled and natural. And as an extreme extrovert, he was comfortable holding court and being the center of attention. I never saw him with less than a half a dozen people around him, as he was riffing some blend of stand-up comedy and a sermon. I think it was Mel Brooks who coined the term the stand-up philosopher. And that's what Micheline and some of these guys were. Comedic preachers, poetic comics. Alan Watts meets Richard Pryor, just a few doors down from Lenny Bruce and Lord Buckley. And if you put Jack on a stage, watch out. He had an uncommonly competitive drive for a poet, and would make a point to be the best damn reader performer on any bill he shared, and he usually won that battle. He could have been a great union organizer or football coach in another life, but in this one, he was a poet's mix of Jack's working class mindset and appearance, with Gregory's gregariousness and anti-authoritarianism, and Allen's sense of rebel poetry. Andy Clausen, who made it here from Cherry Valley, New York, reminded me of Ralph Steadman's drawings of Hunter Thompson. He was always sort of bent over and darting about frantically on some urgent mission. They were both kind of football physical poets. And if Micheline was the coach, Clausen was the rookie running back. He just made the team and had all the confidence in the world and was really eager to get the ball and run with it. Very much in the Beat spirit, these guys were challenging the status quo. In amongst the Mount Rushmore legends of the game were wild, hungry, energetic players who weren't yet resting on the dais in the Hall of Fame, but rather forcing the veterans to keep on their pencil tips, because the next rotation were playing their way onto the team right before our eyes. Andy Clausen, on the team. Here's just one other paragraph that kind of set that up, but I don't know, I came across it and thought it might reverberate here. And another, because we're all not 21 anymore. The other thing to remember, they were all so freaking young then. But look who's talking. Other than the 30-year-old Jack Kerouac, the youngest of them was still more than twice my age. Babs and Titel were 43, Kesey and Joyce Johnson 47, McClure 49, Gregory 52, Allen 56. They were in what we now know of as their midlife prime. And while they weren't necessarily producing the early groundbreaking poetry and prose, they had adopted the Cassidy and then Kesey concept that your life is your art. They were, to a man and a woman, better people than they were in their explosive youth. Better performers, better teachers, better organizers, better tempered, better conveyors of their inner vision. And at this event, thanks to the Bill Graham of the Beats, Allen Ginsberg, they were collectively staging the biggest Woodstock of Jack since he first played the Cavern in '57.